Hi everybody, this is Jennifer. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books, music, movies, and anything else that takes my fancy. Today, I'm doing my December 2017 wrap-up. And I have 13 things to talk about, so let's get started so this video won't be forever. Alright, so I don't have a copy of the first thing I read because it's an audiobook and it's on my phone on which I am taping this right now. So it is The Wolf Gift by Anne Rice. This is a reread. I read it every year around Thanksgiving-ish. It's 4 stars, and if you want to know my thoughts on that, there is a review coming up in a few days. Next up is Volume 1 of The Wicked and the Divine. I've had this for ages, and I never got around to reading it, but I decided in December I was going to catch up on some of the graphic novels that I hadn't been reading. So I went ahead and read this. I thought it was pretty interesting. I gave it 4 stars. And yeah, I liked it pretty good. So every 90 years, 12 gods return. And then they're in the bodies of young people. And this should have clued me that it was a bit YA-ish. Yet somehow it didn't. They're loved, they're hated, in 2 years they're all dead. It's happening again now. And so this deals with one, there's this teenage girl named Laura, and she really wants to be a part of this whole thing, and she gets involved with Lucy, who is the incarnation of Lucifer in female form. And so this is what happens to them. So yeah, again, it was 4 stars and I liked it all right. Next up is Paper Girls Volume 3. This takes place in the past or the future or something like that. I liked it pretty good. It's the whole story of this is 4 paper girls from the 80s get caught in this big mystery featuring time travel and all kinds of good stuff. I like this one really good. I write, excuse my poor grammar just there. I like this pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. I think I gave the last one 3, but I really liked this one. It's got some very interesting artwork and some interesting twists and turns from the characters. So yeah, that got 4 stars. Next up are 2 more volumes of The Deadly Class. I have 4 and 5, which are the last ones. I don't think 6 is out yet. I have to check. Yeah, so this is 4, which is Die For Me. It's the final exam of the first year of assassin school. I'm not going to tell you what happens. And then there's 5, Carousel, which is the beginning of the next year, after the fallout from the finals and all that. Let's see. Volume 4, I got 4 stars, and I liked it pretty good. It was very interesting, and there was a lot of politicking and stuff like that. Volume 5, I gave 3 stars because, well, some things happened in 4, and it affected Volume 5, and so it wasn't exactly the same. However, Volume 5 ended in such a way, and this series gets me like that. It'll be like, okay, and it's like, what is that? And then it'll be like, okay, now I have to find it, and I have to figure out what's happening now. So yeah, I'll probably be going on to number 6, even though I wasn't all that fond of number 5, but whatever. Alright, so next up was a Christmas audiobook I was listening to, so I don't have it, I got it from the library. It's I'm Dreaming of a Black Christmas by Lewis Black. I gave that 3 stars. It was funny, but it wasn't... Now, Lewis Black is Jewish, so I can't expect anything too Christmassy from him. However, he has this parody of the Carol of the Bells, which I thought was hilarious. And several parts of this were hilarious and very nice. He talks about charitable giving. He talks about all kinds of good stuff that you would associate with Christmas. But it wasn't quite what I wanted, so it got 3 stars. And, you know, it's fine. Next up was my book club book of this year. Well, this mid-December. And this is The Necromancer's House by Christopher Buehlman. So this deals with Andrew Ranulph Blankenship. He is a necromancer. He is a warlock, or whatever you want to call it. And one of his creations kills a dude, and his niece, anyway, it's a big complicated thing, comes to town to avenge him. And so there's all kinds of stuff going on with this. It's very spooky. If you've ever wanted to get the visual of somebody vomiting darts at somebody as a weapon, this is the book for you. I really liked his writing style. I thought it was vaguely hipsterish. I do have to say that. The main character and his sidekick especially. And yeah, I had some issues with the story and the ending, but in general, I really liked his writing style, and I'm interested to see what else Christopher Buehlman has to offer. All right, so that was 3 stars in case I didn't mention that before. Next up, The Wolves of Midwinter by Anne Rice. This was 5 stars. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And it's my Christmas book every year. And it's going to be in the review with the wolf gift that I mentioned earlier. So be on the lookout for that. Next up was a comic, Rivers of London, Cry Fox. It's this new series that Ben Aronovich and Cardinal, Sullivan, and Guerrero. I don't see their first names. Oh, okay. Written by Andrew Cartel and Ben Aronovich, art by Lee Sullivan, colors by Luis Guerrero, and letters by Rob Steen. Yeah, this is a side story in the Rivers of London series, and I get the comics. It helps me, it doesn't. I love these characters and I love the series, so I want to stay on top of what's going on. So that was 3 stars. It's in the middle. What I see most with these is the first one's really good. The middles are middling. Anyway, and you know, the last one usually ends with a pop. Anyway, so 3 stars. Next up is, The Wicked and the Divine Volume 2. Now, I liked the first one already, I just said so, you heard me. But I did not grasp just how YA-ish the whole story was, because of, you know, the character of Lucy is so, badass and stuff that you kind of lose it. However, it really came to the fore with this, that you're dealing with a bunch of teenagers, and even if they are, you know, not quite immortal gods, I don't know how they can be gods if they're not immortal, but whatever. I do not think I find the story interesting enough to go on, even though, you know, it wasn't a bad story and the artwork is fine. I gave it 3 stars, but at $15 a pop, I'm not sure this is a series I want to continue, because there's a few I want to, because there's a few graphic novel series that I want to start, you know, seeing if I like them. And it just sort of pales in comparison to, Monstrous and stuff like that. So, anyway, next up, Prime by Poppy Z. Brite. It's another reread. It's the second book in the Liquor series, the Ricky and G-Man series, whatever you want to call it. Ricky, who is the co-chef owner of Liquor, and that book I read in July, if you want to see me talk about that one. So he gets, well, their benefactor, their silent partner, Lenny, gets arrested by the DA of New Orleans, and they're like, hey, maybe we should try to buy Lenny out. Maybe we should try to save up some money so that we don't have to rely on Lenny just in case he gets sent. He gets put away. Anyway. So Ricky gets this opportunity to consult for a restaurant in Dallas. So he goes to Dallas to work with an ex-acquaintance of his that he almost hooked up with back when he was in the Culinary Institute of America. So that happens, and then there's this mystery about the DA and what he wants with Lenny, and it's so good. I love Poppy Z. Bright's writing. I love New Orleans as a setting, and I love the characters in this book. It's 5 stars, and yeah, it was wonderful. So, my penultimate read, which I also don't have because it was a library ebook and I don't have it anymore, and it was 4 stars, was To the Bright Edge of the World by A1 Ivy. So what happens is Lieutenant Colonel, I do not even know, I don't remember what his name was. Oh my god, that's so horrible. Let's see. Sorry, I have a bit of a... I think I want to call him Sanders, but I don't think it is. Okay, so... Forster. It's Forster. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Lieutenant Colonel Forster is assigned to go to Alaska to survey the new territory that was just bought up by the United States. In doing so, he leaves his pregnant wife, Sophie, back at his base camp. Well, I wouldn't call it base, it's where they live. And so it's like a dual, first off, it's epistolary. So it's written through like letters and journal entries mostly. And so it's him on his journey and the strange things he sees, and Sophie dealing with being pregnant and alone and becoming a budding photographer. So I really liked this book. I wanted to love it because the writing is so good, and it deals with a lot of themes and about, the Forsters have a very unusual relationship. He's significantly older than she is, and she is very independent, and she's not like, I hate saying that she's not like the other women in there. She's a bit of a blue stalker, what they call blue stalking. She doesn't like to talk about like girly stuff. She likes to talk about like philosophy, and she likes nature and stuff. And he gets her to marry him by showing her a hummingbird's nest or something like that. So yeah, they were very interesting. The framing device was pretty interesting. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but I really liked it. I liked the writing a lot. I don't know. It was really good. So 4 stars for that one. And the last book I read in 2017 is Cork Dork by Bianca Bosker. And I became intrigued with this because Olive at a Book Olive did a really good review of it. And so Bianca Bosker is a tech writer, and she quits her job because she wants to learn how to be excuse me, just a second. Sorry about that. She wants to learn how to be a cork dork, which is a sommelier, and she wants to take and pass the Master Sommelier exam given by this wine board or whatever. And so this is her going into the restaurant world, seeing how sommeliers do their job. She goes to scientists to see how the science of smell and taste work. And I found it really engaging, and I found it really parts of it were really interesting. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. The parts in the restaurant and the personality she meets there and the restaurant world that revolves around the wine was so interesting. The science stuff was really interesting. I did have a few issues with it. I was never quite able to get over that hump where it's like, I was never able to be completely convinced that it wasn't rather frivolous and arbitrary. What was the word I was thinking of? It wasn't arbitrary, it was something else. Contrived. So, you know, but it did give me a much better, better appreciation of it. And in the end, I liked it a lot. So yeah, those were the 13 things I read in December. Sorry about the throat cracking up and all that. There's nothing much I can do about it. If you want to make a comment about what I read, or if you want to put what you read in the comments, we can have a discussion down there. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for stopping by. Bye.